Thanks, guys. My wife and I were talking a couple of weeks ago, and I mentioned that I'm going to be doing a guest lecture over at UCSB. And she and the other people would say, oh, what are you going to talk about? And I said, I don't know. John and I talked about doing an interview thing, and I'm not really sure. I think I'll just wing it. And of course, the butterflies went through my stomach, and they all looked at me horrified. But the more I started to think about it, I said, well, why the hell not? Why not just wing it? I mean, that's what entrepreneurs do every day. We get up in the morning, and especially in the startup environment, an environment of extreme uncertainty, and we wing it. When I got up Monday, I had no idea what I was going to walk into, which was pretty much kind of a storm going between two of our employees that needed some rectifying and some talking and this whole thing. And I had no idea that I was walking into that, and I just showed up, and there it was in front of me, and I dealt with it, and I just winged it, and it all turned out fine. Everybody's still there, and everybody's happy. When I went into work today, I didn't realize that Monday morning we're going to be pitching UPS on a big contract on a product that, guess what? It doesn't even exist, and I'm going to wing it. But that's what entrepreneurs do every day. We get up in the morning and we wing it. And my life has been kind of winging it from day one. So today I'm going to wing it. I kind of want that to be a theme because that to me is part of what entrepreneurship is. So here you have it, unedited, unrehearsed, and uncut. So that's not the way I find things on the internet. And I started to think about it. I said, well, how do I find things on the internet? And I said, well, back then it was really hard because the internet didn't make any sense. It was just this thing, and you couldn't find anything. But there was this one site that somebody told me about, or maybe I read about it. It was called Yahoo. And it was run by some college students up north here in Stanford. And I went to Yahoo, and Yahoo was very small, very rudimentary back then. It was smaller than anything you can even find on the internet right now. And I looked at it, but that's what I used because it had the cool sites. It was kind of more like a cool site of the day type of website. And so I said, well, how do I get added? You know, and there's no business category. And how do I put my business on here? And I couldn't figure it out. So I sent an email to webmaster@yahoo.com. And I got an email back, and it says, oh, well, yeah, we can put it on, but, you know, so you wanted to talk to me. So I ended up calling the dorm, and he called me back, and we traded phone calls. Finally, I get a hold of him, and he was a nobody, I was a nobody, but this was Jerry Yang, the founder of ValueClick. I don't know if you heard of him, but he got him on the phone. He says, oh, yeah, I like that catalog. Yeah, oh, yeah, I like that webpage. Yeah, we'll put that on Yahoo. I said, oh, great, thanks a lot. And the next day, I get 2 orders. I said, wow, 2 orders. I got 2 orders. There are people, and I still didn't know how many people were coming to the website or anything. The next day, I got 3 orders. I said, wow, this is great. So I started to understand how this internet thing was evolving. And I said, well, I'm going to make it my life's mission. Every morning I'm going to spend the first hours of my day. I'm going to get up, I'm going to crawl the internet, I'm going to find places to get my website linked up. And that's what I did, 3, 4 hours, 5 hours every day. And I'd find a link here, link there, link somewhere else. And I was able to finally take the business completely online and stop mailing all those catalogs, stop licking all those envelopes, stop all the stamping and the machines and all this type of thing. So it was great, and I was enjoying it, and then I realized, I said, well, if I need to get people to my website, everybody's going to need to get people to their website, and you have all these businesses coming online, and everybody's talking about building websites, you need to build it. And they were all being told that 40 million people are going to come to your website. And I knew 40 million people were not going to come to your website. So what do you need to do? So I said, well, these hundreds and hundreds of hours of research that I have in finding these free link locations, I said, I can duplicate that. I've got the list. I can have my employee do it in about 2 hours. I pay her $15 an hour. That's $30. I said, you know, so I'll charge, you know, $89.99. And I'll put a directory listing service on the internet. So I took an afternoon, and that's literally what it took to put together this AAA Internet Promotions. AAA, back in 1994, is what they called search engine optimization. Okay? That got you to the top of the list. If you were AAA, you came up for A, you came up for AA, and then after that was B. So AAA Internet Promotions, I put it on all these directories, and in 2 weeks, I had a 200 order backlog. I was horrified because I have all these people sending me money all of a sudden, and so I doubled the price because I didn't know what else to do. And, and I say, maybe that'll slow it down. In 3 weeks, I have a 300 order backlog, so I double the price again. and next thing you know, these orders are coming in, and I am getting up in the morning, and I'm just trying to find people who need a job and have a dial-up connection, and it comes to mind. And I'm, you know, at ValueClick, our entire business was in one machine. Okay, our entire business was on one hard drive. And one morning I got up, again, winging it, I got up, and there's this frickin' storm. You know, it's as bad as Santa Barbara gets, period. The people literally were swimming under the freeway at Garden Street. Okay? There were people swimming. There were people like jumping off the poles. They're in boats and the whole thing. And I'm driving around, and the banners are down. And back in those days, if the banner went down, and the banner was at the top of the page, if the banner went down, the website wouldn't load, if you can believe that. So the banners are down. And if the banners went down, that means our publishers would hate us, and they'd take off the banner. And it was our biggest problem finding these publishers, so we couldn't stand to lose publishers. So next thing you know, I'm driving around town with my cell phone. You know, it's like a cell phone. Driving around my town with my cell phone, and I'm looking for a generator. And Michael's up there, oh no, well, they might have one for rent over here, and they had one for sale, but they just sold it, and I'm driving all over town frantic. Finally, he says, I found an outlet. I said, well, and we're in the 3rd floor of the Granada building. He said, well, where's the outlet? He says, it's at Arts and Letters Cafe, which is down out the back window, 3 stories and across. So I went over to the hardware store over on Olive Street, and they didn't have any electricity, so cash deals only. And I bought, I think, every extension cord that they had in the entire place. And we ran that extension cord down 3 stories and across half a block and plugged it in. Banners are up. Banners are up. Oh my God. Oh my God. I mean, we literally, you talk about a roller coaster, we literally could have lost the business in that moment. And now we had investors, now we had employees. You know, there was a lot of commerce coming in on that little stupid machine. We took that machine, we said, well, we can't have this, you know, we need to go to a center. We need to go to a hosting center. So there was one down in Marina Del Rey, and we decided a couple of weeks later we were going to run it down there. So we had to figure out when our traffic was the absolute lowest. And we considered hiring an ambulance or a fire truck or something to like zoom it down there. but we actually didn't have to do that. We actually, Michael Bueno and I got up like 3:15 in the morning and, okay, you ready? Unplug it, banners are down, put it in the back, drive carefully, you know. Down to Marina Del Rey, plug the server back in. Are the banners up? Are the banners up? I don't know. Reload. So they up. Banners are up. Oh, okay, we can breathe again. So it's been a ride, let me tell you. It's been a ride, and now that I remember ValueClick, and it's all pouring back to me now, I'm like, oh yeah, it wasn't all fun and games and easy. And somebody in one of our meetings said, yeah, you know, startups are a lot of fun, but mostly in hindsight. It's kind of like high school, you know. Everybody, oh, high school was so great. Well, you know what? Talk to a high school kid. They're not having that much fun, you know. Vision. And I think that the essence of entrepreneurship is really, you have to have a belief. If you're going to get up and wing it, I came in here tonight to wing it. I said, okay, I'm just going to wing it. I mean, I'm going to tell my story. I know my story, but I'm just going to wing it. You know, I don't have a PowerPoint presentation. I'm not hiding behind any slides. I'm just going to do it. And how do I do that? Well, it all boils down to belief, you know, and everything in entrepreneurship, if you really look at it, boils down to you absolutely have to believe it as deep can get that you can do it. And I knew coming in here, I believed I could do it. So here I am doing it. When I'm doing this business and I develop a product, I believe very deeply in that product. So I'm able to convince employees, but not just employees. I'm able to convince leaders in the industry. I'm able to steal senior VPs from my competitor. I'm able to hire people for $100,000 a year when their last job they got $500,000 a year. I'm able to attract people. I'm able to bring on investors. And the way I'm able to do that is because of my belief. The way I'm able to surround myself with smart people, the way I'm able to bring in investor capital, and the way I'm able to keep people motivated is a deep set belief. So I think that's really at the core of entrepreneurship.